In this video, I am going to share the 10 things you need to know about floating homes in Portland. Next Home Network PDX. If this is your first time to my channel and you want to know everything about living, eating, sleeping, all the varied lifestyles that are available to the Portland, Vancouver area, then hit the subscribe button and also ring the little bell so that you will be informed every time I make a new video. I get so many people calling who are looking to relocate to the area, and I absolutely love it. If you are thinking of relocating to this area or just need help figuring out where you want to live that fits your lifestyle, then give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, or even send me that carrier pigeon. However you want to get a hold of me, just know that I have your back when moving to the Portland, Vancouver greater area. And now to our featured story. This question comes up almost before any other question, and that is, do floating homes rock? Can you feel them move? The short answer is yes. The long answer is kind of, or it depends. My mom is in her 80s, and she is not comfortable in my home. We live in a floating home on Hayden Island on the Columbia. And when she comes for holidays and she sees the chandelier move slightly, she's like, ah. She is not comfortable in my home. So it depends. It depends on your tolerance. It depends on how comfortable you are around water. And it also depends on where you live. I did an open house at a floating home in the Selwood area, and this is on the Willamette River. And there's a 5-mile-an-hour no-wake buoy out from the floating homes, but it's not a shore-to-shore no-wake area. And so watch this short clip of how much this home moved. Homes there are waves, and you can slightly feel it. It's not pronounced. It's not like sitting in a canoe and bouncing up and down on the waves. These homes are heavy. As such, they don't move a whole lot. It also depends on boat traffic. In the summer, the more boats you get, the more things get stirred up in the water. And there seems to be a combination effect that makes the waves get bigger than they would if just one boat went by. And so that's a time when sometimes you can feel the house move slightly. Personally, I love inclement weather. I enjoy being on the ocean, fishing when it's rough, but I do enjoy some level of excitement on the water. Some people are not like this. Some people, like my mom, just freak if they can feel the house move. So I am very much at home in/on a floating home. So the bottom line is, yes, they do move. If you have a fear of the water, or you have toddlers that you're concerned about falling in the water, maybe a floating home's not for you. The second question that I get asked a lot is, how long do the logs last? Well, current technology and, this technology of floating homes have been floated by logs for hundreds of years. You simply bring in a 30-pound block of foam to lift 700 pounds in a specific area. These blocks have a lifting capacity of about 700 pounds apiece. These foam blocks are approximately 5 by 3 by 2 feet each. The foam blocks are used to aid in leveling the home if it's high on one side and low on the other. Steel I-beams are used between the house and the logs to provide a barrier where the logs stay wet and the house stays dry, and steel does not rot. It might rust a little, but the steel lasts a long time. The wet-dry cycle is not good for the understructure of the home either. And in the past, and we still see a lot of these around that have not been upgraded, had wooden beams on top of the logs, and they tend to rot rather quickly. The float system, if you're buying a floating home, needs to be evaluated by an expert. This expert works above the water, and he brings a diver with him, and they communicate, and they come up with what is called a float score. And with that float score is going to give us a good idea of how much life is left on the float system. This costs around $800. If we are looking at floating homes, I'm not an expert, but I know what to look for, and I can give you a reasonably good idea whether to spend the money, the $800, to get the home inspected, or whether that would be a waste of money based on my experience and what I see. If you purchase a floating home with a high float score, the chances are that the logs will live longer than you do. On the other hand, if the logs are shot, it could cost 50 grand, 80 grand to put new logs under the home and bring it up to current standards. This may mean some of these homes that are for sale are simply not worth anything. Some of the cheaper floating homes may actually be a liability rather than an asset. So on a fixer floating home, fixer's great if you're talking about the house and the structure. It's no different than really any other fixer, other than it's going to be harder to get the materials down to the house than it would to just have them delivered and dropped off on your curb. We typically see floating homes $30,000 to $50,000 for sale that have to be removed from the mortgage. Where are you going to take it? And it's not cheap. You need at least 2 tugboats to manage pulling out and pushing it like a barge to wherever you're going to go. And you need to decommission all the utilities, the natural gas, the electricity, the water, the sewer. So it's expensive. Hey, thanks for hanging for the whole video. I'm creating this on the fly, and I'm going to upload these as I get them done. I have at least 2, possibly 3 more parts to do on this floating home series. Remember, if you're looking for that perfect place to live in the Portland, Vancouver area, you've got to call me or text me or email me or even send me that carrier pigeon. However you want to contact me, just know I have your back when moving to the Portland, Vancouver greater area. And until the next video, I'll catch you later.